to World Tide News, where we navigate the powerful forces shaping our world. Today, we turn to Ethiopia, a nation sitting on a powder keg, multiple wars raging within its own borders, a regime under siege from every direction, and a geopolitical chess match involving the United States, China, and the UAE. The question is no longer whether Ethiopia is in crisis. The question is, how much longer can Addis Ababa hold on?
Many more countries could be involved. In the last war, there were two main players: the Ethiopian government, who were supported by longtime foe Eritrea, against the Tigray People's Liberation Front, the TPLF, who were fighting for control over their region in the north, which borders Eritrea. A peace deal was signed in 2022, but the TPLF says many of the provisions have not been fully implemented.
The immediate precipitant for some of the more serious escalation we're seeing at the moment really surrounds the situation between the federal government and the TPLF, or the de facto regional authorities in Tigray. Related to that, I think the concerns that the federal administration in Addis has about the relationship between the Eritrean government and the Tigrayan authorities. I think that specific issue is probably the immediate precipitant. But of course, all of that is taking place against a backdrop of contestation and Ethiopian claims, Ethiopian government claims around Red Sea access.
Ethiopia is the world's most populous landlocked nation. It lost its access to the Red Sea in the early 1990s when its then northernmost province, Eritrea, declared independence. Earlier in February, Ethiopian Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed gave this emphatic statement to the parliament.
For months, the Ethiopian federal government has made one thing clear. It wants the port of Assab back from Eritrea. Its airwaves have been saturated with that message. The manner in which Assab was handed to Eritrea must be revisited. The posturing has been aggressive, and for a moment, many believed the region was heading toward another catastrophic war.
One of which is that a war starts predominantly in Tigray itself, and then eventually expands to draw on Ethiopia versus Eritrea, and then also, given all the regional dynamics, starts to overlay and merge with the war in Sudan, for instance.
There is a high likelihood that the war in Sudan merges with the war in Ethiopia, right? Because conflict actors in both of those conflict systems are already engaged across borders. So I think the Ethiopian government, the TPLF, Eritrea have stakes and equities, and to varying degrees are probably involved in Sudan. So it's not just their external backers, but them as well. And I think it's quite likely, that the SAF and RSF in the context of a conflict, maybe centered on Tigray or elsewhere in Ethiopia and Eritrea, would get involved in that conflict as well. I think saying that this would be a messy conflict maybe even understates the case.
A war neither side can afford. But let us read this situation carefully, because what is unfolding may say more about the fragility of the Addis Ababa regime itself. While Addis beats the drum of Assab, it is fighting wars inside its own borders. In Amhara, the Fano has not only held its ground, it has grown stronger. The Fano represents nearly 40% of Ethiopia's population. What began as an uprising has become a formidable military and political force. The Addis regime has tried to crush them. It has failed. In the west, the Oromo Liberation Army continues its campaign, and in Tigray, the TPLF has made a decision of historic significance. Since the Pretoria Agreement has not been honored by Addis Ababa, they say they are no longer bound by it. They reinstated their own administration and rejected federal appointees. Now comes perhaps the most significant development. There are credible reports of a tactical alliance being negotiated between Eritrea, Tigray, and the Fano. If this materializes, Addis Ababa will face a convergence of forces it cannot easily neutralize. No military budget, no drone purchase, no foreign backing will be enough. Here is the heart of our analysis. The Fano is gaining international recognition as a serious force, and the Tigray leadership once governed this nation for 3 decades. Their military discipline and organizational capacity are not in question. If these two forces unite, not only militarily, but politically, with a clear roadmap for the future, they may find a receptive audience in Washington, Brussels, and the African Union. The opportunity is real, the window is open. It is theirs to seize or squander. To the Addis Ababa regime, we say this plainly: what Ethiopia needs is a genuine transitional process, one that brings the Fano, Tigray forces, and the OLA to the table, to agree on a framework for fair and inclusive governance. That is the only legitimate path forward. Regimes that refuse to negotiate, that cling to power through force alone, do not survive. They are removed, sometimes through the ballot, sometimes through the barrel. But they are removed. The clock is ticking in Addis Ababa. The question is whether those in power have the wisdom to hear it. This is World Tide News. We will continue to watch, report, and speak the truth, even when it is uncomfortable. If this story moved you, informed you, or gave you a new perspective, hit that like button. It helps more people find us. Share this video with someone who needs to hear it. And if you have not subscribed yet, do it now. Because the tide keeps moving, and you do not want to be left behind. We will see you in the next one. Thank you for watching.